Welcome back. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. In a bid to tackle smog, Delhi on Tuesday has conducted cloud seeding in several parts of the city, raising hopes that artificial rain may soon wash away the toxic air blanketing the capital. The operation was undertaken by an aircraft from the Indian Institute of Technology in Kanpur, carrying special salt paste and silver iodide flares designed to trigger rain. Meanwhile, the Commission for Air Quality Management has directed a ban on all commercial goods, vehicles registered outside Delhi and not compliant with BS6 norms, which will be prohibited from entering the national capital from November 1st. Parali burning, though, is still continuing with over 100 cases reported every day. Joining us live is Shekhar Singh, journalist. We also have Sumit Peer, political commentator, live with us. Dr. Narendra Saini, former Secretary General IMA, is joining us live. Justice Ravindra Singh, former Supreme Court judge, also is joining the broadcast. Let me make a start with you first, Shekhar Singh. How shocking is it that despite all the public awareness and measures taken, Parali burning still continues in multiple parts of the country? Parali burning cases still being reported, Shekhar Singh, even as AQI in Delhi continues to plummet.
See, first of all, I think it's a deep failure for our state and also our people. We've put extreme efforts in trying to combat this problem. The government, the civil society, in fact, even the farmers themselves. But we have failed when we see outside our window, and that's the proof of our failure. Now, it doesn't matter how much cloud seeding you do or whatever channels you do, the toxic air is already in Delhi. And now what we can best do is breathe it. Because all the previous efforts, whether to actually employ the machines, whether to actually, diversify the crops, all these methods have failed. We've failed to create an allied industry in Punjab, which is taking the stubble or the parali and using it as a valuable raw material. We've failed it all at many steps in this program. And that's why even after 10 years, even after 15 years, this problem is persistent. Now, I welcome some of the other initiatives that you said in the city, that we now will not have certain, polluting vehicles in the city, and there are certain other bans, which I think can bring some relief. But when it comes to the farmers, I think it's not a matter of any political party, but it is the failure of the political class. And that is quite evident now, whether it be the state mechanism or the central mechanism, that's for experts and political experts to describe and discuss. But whereas from the health issue, from what we see outside our windows, I think, or what the air that we breathe, I think there has been a complete disregard of the problem. We've not even managed to touch the source of the problem because it continues every time more each year. And this year, Punjab experienced floods. Now, just imagine, if it weren't for the floods, the area under paddy in Punjab right now is at the highest ever. Imagine all of Punjab burning the parali, all of Haryana burning the parali, all of Western UP, Uttar Pradesh, burning the parali, and all these areas. What would have happened? We have been just, in more toxic cloud this year. And I've been to other parts of the country. I've been to areas in Eastern UP where they don't burn the parali. So why can't we have, I've always been saying this, why can't we have such different varieties of rice planted especially in the green revolution belts of Haryana and Punjab, where there's no need to burn the parali, which I think has fallen on deaf ears. So to begin with, I would definitely say that yes, it's an emergency response that's happening with the cloud seeding and the artificial rain. But apart from that, everything else that we see is a constant year-by-year failure of our money, of our tax money, of our government thinking.
Yes. Let me quickly also join Sumit Peer. Sumit Peer, now cloud seeding has begun. The first trial of cloud seeding carried out today by IIT Kanpur. How hopeful are you that this will help improve the situation in the national capital? It's something that obviously hasn't been done before, that finally the BJP government in Delhi is trying, and how hopeful are you that it will be successful?
Uday, thank you for having me on your show. I think it's last couple of years we always discuss this. I think there's something different this time around. First of all, if you look at Delhi, because of when it gets colder, because of the winds getting and low pressure and all, we have this smog or the smoke getting accumulated here. Earlier, traditionally, the problem was always associated with Deepavali and bursting crackers. At least we are over that stage. We are not only associating it's because of Deepavali the entire problem is there. Thankfully, we've crossed that stage over the years. But you see this parali burning in predominantly in Punjab. Then there are some parts of Haryana and some parts of Western UP where it happens. Now, this is a problem which needs to be tackled at a bigger level. This is a problem which needs to be tackled at a war footing, because that is the main cause of pollution. Then, we attribute to reasons like construction, vehicles and all. They don't contribute so much. As IIT study, they are not the major contributors. But the major contributor is the parali burning, which has to be found a way out, political, economic, whatever. Now, coming to this part, this time around, look, the only logical way, if you, by the way, by the time you settle all other issues and find those political magic wands to get them out of your arena, I think this cloud seeding is a wonderful idea, because things will get worse, Uday. We are just, the temperatures have not fallen so much. Imagine December, imagine January, and imagine parali burning. If that continues in that point of time, we can be looking at AQIs which are above 500. So if this idea works, I think the idea would be then we can replicate it at a much bigger landmass and see to control the situation. It's like a SOS measure. It's like a, it's like a cause and effect theory. But if in the long run, if we are able to eliminate the cause, that will be the best thing. But due to winters and due to low pressure and all, we will have this smog and we'll have this smog and pollution problem. But right now, at least we are attempting something, we are trying something, we are trying a scientific way which can possibly settle the things. And honestly, when IIT is doing it, my hopes are very high. These guys are very smart. I don't think they will fail. How much would be the quantum of the impact? We know if there are rains, the impact is phenomenal, it works. But how much will this artificial rain cost and what will be the impact? But even at spending an X amount of money, if we are able to do it regularly, and by the time we follow those drastic steps to curtail it at the grassroots level, it's a welcome step. We hope and pray, Uday, this works. And I appreciate the initiatives of Rekha Gupta ji, who's trying to do something, who's trying to use some scientific ways to control this problem. But in the long run, you have to control Punjab, you have to control some parts of Haryana and some parts of UP. And with this cloud seeding and all, and if we do a 360-degree approach, Uday, we should be able to have a Delhi where you and me and all of which viewers watching us can really breathe. I see there are a lot of problems with kids, there are a lot of problems with elderly. Asthmatic patients go through hell these days. The hospitals gets filled with patients. So we have to find some solution. But if this is able to cut the clutter by on 40 or 50%, I would really, really be very happy, and I will really, really be greatly thankful for this initiative.
Yes, Dr. Narendra Sen, more measures are being taken. Of course, from cloud seeding to also BS 6 compliant commercial vehicles only being allowed in the national capital to come in. These are all moves being taken to help people's health, help improve the AQI, the situation in Delhi. Are you hopeful that these measures will work?
Yes, this measure should work, but I see that major thing is the implementation. We take measures, but you tell me people are going in their vehicles, there are no traffic lights, there's no traffic light, because from where this AQI is high. I no doubt about Parali, we can't do anything. Let it, the government should decide on that. There should be implementation of law. But at the same time, you just see Delhi. I see so much of dust on the road. Nothing has been done for that. The Parali is what? The AQI level is high because of PM 2.5 and PM 10. These causes a major problem to us, plus the gases. Now, how much combustion is happening with the vehicle? There is no red lights. I see in so many vehicles, there are so many vehicles are lying on the roads and there is no red lights. Everybody is trying to bypass others. So much of vehicles which can be utilized. There is no awareness on people. I think previously I used to hear that people should stop their engine at red light. All these things make a lot of difference. Small things makes a lot of difference, and there's so much of dust lying on the roads. I do not see in my own area, I don't see for the last 1 month anybody has taken out the dust from the roads. From where these PM 2.5, all this is rising because of internal matters also. Let's talk about first, let's clean Delhi first. The other things like this Parali burning and all things, this is going on for last 15 years. We have done nothing. Why? So many government have changed. Delhi has changed, Punjab government has changed, and the whole center has changed. But we have not brought in new agriculture methods so that this Parali burning should go away. Why? We are in a scientific world. India is known for all this scientific innovation, but sometimes the political reasons become so high that we do not go for that. Why this is not happening? Why only Punjab is burning, the rest of the country, it is not a burning of Parali? Why? I do not know. There is somewhere there has to be innovation in the scientific method. There should be innovation in implementation law, and there should be, like we say, don't take vehicles, heavy vehicles in the traffic area. But nothing has been changed. I am seeing where, because the political reason where the vehicle should not be there, heavy vehicles, they are going over there. There's a lot of traffic jams are there. Why these traffic jams are there? Just because heavy traffic is going on, big buses and all those things are going on those places where previously they were not going. All these increases. So small measures also has to be taken. We are talking about big things. Yes, the big things are still, at the same time, they are there. But we are increasing the
Yes.
local levels, all those things also.
Absolutely. Justice Ravinder Singh, quickly roping you in here. Is it going to be left to the court once again to step in and take measures, or do you believe this time there is proactiveness being taken with, of course, the GRAP measures and other guidelines and steps also being taken? Justice Ravinder Singh, can you hear me?
Yes, well, you are not too much audible, but I have understand your question.
Please go ahead.
The problem is that the court is passing the order, but implementation is in the hands of the government. If the implementation is not proper, how it can be fruitful? Presently, the green explosives were allowed by the Supreme Court, but all the explosives were used in the Diwali. Nobody was bothering it. Mr. Saini is saying that all ultimately implementation in the hands of the government officials. If they are not carrying it, orders can't be fruitful. Parali, etc. are small cause, but smoke, dust, illegal constructions in the area, nobody is checking it. What is happening? So far as Parali is concerned, this problem is in whole of the country. But there is no such type of the situation as of the NCR. That is issue, but minor issue. Other issue is very important, on which the government should think it. Government should make a expert committee. Government should take a feedback. Thereafter, take the necessary actions. This is my suggestion.
Okay, let me go back across to you, Indrashekhar, on, of course, now the Parali burning. You know, now the numbers perhaps may have come down, but it is very, very marginal. Satellite images, which we're putting out on our screen as well, still show North India being dotted with red dots because of multiple fires, hundreds of fires which still burn, predominantly in the state of Punjab. Why is this still happening, Indrashekhar? And what more proactive measures should be taken? Obviously, some marginal reduction has happened. Should then this marginal reduction, of course, inspire us for more to be done for the future? Also, though, why is it still marginal? Why isn't the pace of reduction increasing as well with each passing year?
See, Uday, I think the bureaucracy has to seriously answer that question, that why isn't all these things happening? But you talked of highlighting some of the problems and solutions. I would begin by, why can't we simply shift all the farmers that are growing non-basmati rice in Punjab to basmati rice? If they are growing basmati rice, then the remaining straw after the grain has been harvested can be used for cattle fodder and will immediately be absorbed in the dairy sector and other sectors. So that's giving value and creating value for the straw that is left over. Why can't we have programs such as these? And for the other thing is, what about forestation in Punjab? If we look at Punjab, is actually, it's completely fields and fields and fields and fields and very, very few trees. So why can't we create such sanctuaries which act as local carbon lungs, for us? So if we have forests, if we have bamboo forest or plantation along the highways, along the roads, or even just surrounding the village, we will decrease, a lot of this pollution that's emitted from the fields back in the village. It'll be good for the soil, it'll be good for the water, and it'll also be great for our air. Why are we not having monitoring stations where some of these core areas are? We should have already put all these things in place. And now if we turn around, cities like Delhi, just last year only used 1/3 of their total budget that was given to them under the National Clean Air Program. Why didn't we invest this good money into all these smaller micro programs so we can nip them in the bud? And then where is our green wall? Today, if we look, India has 28 people per tree. So that's the kind of ecological load our tree system is already facing. Why don't we increase that? Why can't we have basically 10 people per tree? When we look around, there's heavy deforestation everywhere, whether illegally or legally. There's destruction of wetlands. So all these carbon sinks and all these pollution sink areas, their capacity to sustain themselves and also the society is reducing every year, and that's why we see more pollution and nature's inability to absorb this toxic air. So that's one of the key reasons how I look at the problem at this stage of that.
Dr. Narendra Saini, what kind of health ailments are people of the national capital having to suffer because of this situation?
Of cases coming with eye irritations, with headache, with difficulty in breathing, with cough, with irritation in throat. You name any part of the body which is not affected. All the bodies are affected and number of patients have increased. So, and children especially, there's a lot of problem in breathing for these children. So and what will have a future effect on all this? If the children get infected now at this stage of their life, you can think of at adulthood what they will become. They will have a chronic cough. And for the elderly, we are saying, there's an increase of patients who are giving with heart problems because of all these things, headaches, heart problems, they have increased. So every system, my body is getting affected because of this. And we are seeing this happening in Delhi nowadays.
Yes. Sumit P, let me quickly come back to you. Why is a stubble burning solution not being found? Is it because of politics? Is it because of lack of will? Or is it because of farmer resistance? What is the case, Sumit?
Well, the answer simple is there's not a lot of political way around it. You see the epicenter of the problems remains Punjab. If you see the number of these parali burning cases in Haryana, they have substantially come down. In Western UP, they have substantially come down. They have not gone. But in Punjab, we have seen some dip, but we have not seen that dip. Unfortunately, the Honorable Chief Minister Bhagwant Manji is not able to implement those schemes, able not to give those kind of incentives and all to farmers or those machines where they don't need to burn parali. We burn around 500 million tons of parali in this country. And 30 to 35% of the total pollution comes from that. Then there's vehicular pollution, then there is industrial pollution. These are the three major constituents. The rest is, household waste and other things and others. But if, what makes the thing which makes it go out of the high is this kind of a pollution, wherein you have those thousands and hundreds of fires which are going simultaneously across the state, and there is no forest cover. The things are bad. Unless and until we have an incentive for the farmer, wherein he has more incentive not burning the parali. That should be the kind of incentive which should be brought in. By main jalaunga, I lose money. For example, you can use parali for ethanol blending. It's a good source of ethanol blending. So if we have to find those innovative ways. Like the Punjab can say, okay, if you give me these many tons of parali, I'll give you 100 rupees more, 200 rupees, 500 rupees more for ton. It is better than spending on the hospitals and the medication and all other things. Kill it at the conceptual level. And when the pollution levels go high, you can have this rain seeding, you can have this GRAP 2 measures, you can have these BS6 measures. These are still controllable. But where does things start getting out of the control? Is you have to go and implement it at the field level. And the onus is on the state government to build those mechanisms, to have those incentives, to have those things in place wherein at the conceptual level, the farmer thinks, भाई पराली जलाने में मुझे कोई फायदा नहीं है. I will lose money in doing this. Unless until we bring it to that level, the things are not going to change. And maybe you don't want to upset the apple cart. You don't want to disturb your voters. You want to give them a free okay, jo marzi wo karo. There are political costs and compulsions. But I think if you want to balance out the two, if you spend a little bit more money it will be much better than putting millions of people through the suffering, through the pain, through the agony, especially children and elderly, which we go through every year. So if it's a question of money, have enough money on the table so that nobody burns Parali. That is the only way of
Right.
stopping that right now.
Justice Ravindra Singh, should the court once again step in? Do you believe once again the Supreme Court should step in, given the fact that the situation is happening in Delhi? Should they take suo motu cognizance, pass measures once again? Or do you believe that that is not something that is the answer to the current situation?
Can issue certain directions, but who will implement it?
No,
Ultimately,
but
this
then
problem will be solved
but
by
then
the
that should
implementation
become
of the directions.
but then that should become contempt of
If
court,
directions
sir.
are not implemented,
That should become
the problem
contempt
will
of
not
court.
solve.
That should become contempt
It is
of court.
the
Surely the court
government
should take that
decide
seriously
it.
then, if it's not
Government has
implemented.
to do it, all these things.
Please go ahead, sir.
Everybody is considering all these aspects properly. Passing suitable directions time to time. Every year this matter comes before Supreme Court. But here this problem is, now it's very difficult to live in the NCR. Pollution is too much.
Absolutely. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us. We've run out of time on this discussion. Let's slip into a very short break.